We may be a day late, but we won't be $1 short when it comes to excitement, at least not based on what we've already seen, as we welcome you to Talladega Superspeedway and the Aaron's 312. And the Sprint Cup race was thrilling. We're going to show you the finish of that in just a matter of moments, just in case you missed it just a few moments ago. But right now, we are all ready to go trackside to get this one underway, as we're going to go for a long distance, 834 total miles.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome from the Wounded Warrior Project, Thomas Green III, Todd Schroeder, and Andrew Coughlin.
Drivers, start your engines!
Copy that. Fired up. Yeah, stick them back in there about halfway, Eric. Copy, Brandon. Scott, you got a copy on this foot? Get in the car right now. Good. They sound good. How about you, Patrick? Clear, bud.
Well, the engines have fired. Let's go back to just, a little over a half hour ago. The final lap of the Sprint Cup race coming to the stripe. Jamie McMurray going for 3 in a row on the restrictor plate races, but Kevin Harvick pulls out around him and wins by 1/thousandth of a second. And for more, let's check in with Mike Massaro.
And Marty, Kevin Harvick in position to do something that's incredibly rare in this sport, win 2 races in the same day. Now, KHI has a pretty good success record at the Speedway. In fact, back in 2007, Bobby Labonte and Tony Stewart gave KHI a 1-2 finish here. Harvick himself, however, has never won in his own car at this Speedway. He's trying to change that today. He starts on the pole, looking for the Talladega sweep. Dave?
Mike, Kevin Harvick told me that if there was one guy he'd like to race with at Talladega for the win in the nationwide race, it would be Jamie McMurray. He beat him to the finish line. McMurray, of course, had won the last 2 consecutive Cup restrictor plate races, but Harvick beat him today. Jamie makes his second start in the Junior Motorsports number 88 car for Dale Earnhardt Jr., and as the engines were fired, he was still finishing up his obligations from that race earlier today. He wasn't in the car. He jumped in, he's fired it, and now he's getting buckled in. Doc?
For the past year, Carl Edwards has been singing the praises of a 26-year-old Canadian by the name of Steve Arpin. Last week, Dale Earnhardt Jr. listened and hired the young man to make his debut here today. Until Thursday, Arpin had never sat in a NASCAR Nationwide Series car. Earnhardt Jr. said, "I'll get you ready by giving you some of my personal onboard camera tapes to see the do's and don'ts of drafting at Talladega." As for crew chief Tony Eury Jr., he told the young man, said, "Look, you're a rookie. No one's going to draft with you. Find a veteran to follow and hug that yellow line until we tell you different." Marty.
All right, thanks, Doc. And the 99 of Trevor Bayne, it's his sponsor's race. And the new paint scheme, this was actually designed in a contest by 7-year-old Alexander Kovac. He was the grand prize design winner. Nice job, Alexander. And we'll talk to our in-race reporter. It will be Trevor Bayne when we come back to Talladega.
Said the Pathfinder to the Caravan, "Your journey is a wonderful puzzle." Racing on a track of historic size and speed, man, machine, and destiny connect. Piece by piece, locking together, completing a picture of speed and triumph. A series of left turns, becoming a relentless path to glory. A million stories.
Right now we're 6 laps short. That idiot pulled right up in front of you.
A million emotions.
Hey, stop. Joey, keep your head on yourself, man. What the hell was that all about? You had nothing you could do.
A million pieces.
Get a little more air out of the left hand.
Colliding at 200 miles per hour.
2, 3, 4, 5 cars now sliding.
Watch this, watch this.
The final pieces come together.
We got plenty of fuel to make it.
Only one thing will bring order.
Outside the 66
And one thing makes them whole.
Stewart takes the win at Talladega.
Reagan will beat Bryant by inches.
Only one thing. Victory.
And in 117 laps, we will know who had put all the pieces of the puzzle together here at Talladega Superspeedway. What a difference a day makes. Look at all these campers, motorhomes. We were very close. There were 54 total touchdowns. We're not talking football. We're talking about tornadoes in Alabama and Mississippi. And our thoughts are with everybody over in Yazoo City especially. Ricky Stenhouse comes from Olive Branch, Mississippi. His family's okay, but he knows some people that are not. And we wish them all the best. Here's the weather right now as the temperature is just starting to cool off. It's 78 degrees. It was a little bit warmer. And you can see we've had a bit of a breezy day, up to 20, sometimes 25 miles an hour on the Gus. As we come topside with Dale Jarrett and Andy Petrie, let's talk about the fact that in the first race we saw the action fast and furious, a lot of lead changes, and of course a few collisions.
Yeah, and that's what we come to expect kind of here, as bad as that may sound. But, you know, because of the close racing, just like we see here going through the trail, this is one of the places these guys are going to have to stay off of each other because they can create a lot of bad situations just like this.
Yeah, and these bumpers on these cars line up real well. The bumpers on these nationwide cars, not so much. And even though we don't want to see the big one, we almost always do.
And we have a lot of inexperience in this field, guys that have not raced here before. Let's shift gears a little bit, though, and talk about the fact that we have guys that are going for now, it will be a total of 834 miles because of the 3 green-white checkers that we did.
Yeah, that's, you know, this isn't a physically demanding racetrack, although you do get pretty dehydrated. I hope those guys took the 30 minutes and got some fluids in them. But more than anything, the mental strain it puts on you as a driver, always in a pack of cars all day long. Now they have 312 more miles of that today. They're going to have to really get themselves composed and try to stay that way throughout the day.
Yeah, and we got a lot of inexperience up front, too. And a lot of guys up there are going to be ready to get going, but they are very enthusiastic that they'll have a shot at actually winning this race.
We will have a competition caution from NASCAR at lap number 20. Let's quickly talk to our in-race reporter, Trevor Bain.
Trevor, Dale Jarrett, the ESPN. You have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, buddy, our first question comes from our mailbag, and Seth from Cold Spring, Kentucky wants to know, you didn't have much luck on the first Superspeedway race at Daytona this season. How do you plan to adjust to race well at Talladega today?
Well, hopefully we get some of that luck we didn't have there. But, you know, it's all about experience and getting comfortable with racing with these guys. And that's why we made as many laps as we could in practice there, just so these guys know that they can push this 99 car when the time comes. And, you know, I think that we got a lot of comfort out of those guys now. So I understand with rookie stripes that I'm going to be doing a lot of the pushing. So we'll just see how this first part of the race plays out. And just be careful here these first 20 laps till that competition caution.
Trevor, I know that anytime you get in a race car, you want to win the race. But is today more about getting more experience at this type of racing and getting a good, solid finish?
It is, and that's the conversation I just had with my spotter, Brett Griffin. You know, I told him just to keep me on pace because it's hard as a race car driver to not want to go to the front on the first lap. So, you know, that's going to be a challenge for Jerry and Brett to kind of keep me on pace and keep me slowed down enough to where, you know, we're in the right place at the right time. So I know I got a good eye in the sky and a good guy sitting on the pit box, so we'll see if we can't make the most out of it.
All right, buddy, have a good day and most of all a safe one. Now Andy's going to talk to your crew chief, Jerry Baxter.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Jerry Baxter, Andy Petrie in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, Andy, go ahead.
Hey, Jerry, we always talk about strategy as we get started with these races, and sometimes that's about fuel and tires and that sort of thing, but Talladega's a little different. What kind of instructions have you given your spotter and driver to approach this race?
Well, the whole time during practice we worked on making this Aaron's car pull up in the draft. You know, that's the biggest challenge here, these current cars that we run. So we worked on that a lot, tried to get Trevor all the laps we could get. Now, just watching that race we just ended, it appeared that Jamie Mack gave him a pretty good lesson in riding the back and then ended up at the front when it was time to go. So we're going to kind of play it that way. First 20, then they'll have a competition caution, and we'll see what we can do with the old Aaron's car here.
Okay, Jerry, thanks for talking to us, and hope you have better luck than you did at Daytona, buddy.
All right, thank you.